True meaning can only come from God, who has given creation with meaning and significance. Meaning is totally dependent on God, the Creator, and came from His being. With that being said, my response is no. True meaning cannot be found apart from God. If one could find true meaning apart from God, that would mean that God does not exist to that one. But to me, that one would be defined as lost, as so many of the world are today. Because God is the true creator of all things, and true meaning and purpose within the universe has to come from its creator. When man affirms God's existence, they are confirming true meaning cannot be found apart from God. God has proven to me too many times to count that He does exist and is the creator of this world. Therefore, true meaning for me has to come from God. However, man who does not believe God exists has been deceived by Satan, and therefore true meaning for them can come from anything of the world. Although all things that man has in the world is ultimately God created, they are still of the world, a world where many things are controlled by Satan. God wants us to see past these materialistic things and know that there is a purpose for our lives, and true meaning can be found in Him and not things of the world. God wants us to understand prevent these things, prevent and hinder our progress in our journey to His purpose for us and seeing God as He wants us to see Him. Jesus knew the purpose of His life and was not about to let the things of the world prevent Him from accomplishing His purpose as He was tempted in the wilderness by Satan with things of the world. Matthew chapter 4 verse 1 through verse 11. In verse 10, after being tempted a third time by Satan, Jesus replied, "Worship the Lord your God and serve Him only." That's what God is telling us to do. When we worship and serve Him only, we get the world out of the way and worship and serve God only. And you find He is the true creator of all things, and true meaning and purpose within the universe has to come from Him and cannot be found apart from Him. God knows that the world is an obstruction that is trying to block our view of Him. Satan knows these things of the world are contributors to us, not seeing the truth, and will offer these things to man and block his view of the truth. But when these things are taken away or removed from one's path, suddenly a clear path to true meaning and purpose God has for us is viewed. It is not that God does not want us to have certain things of the world, but He wants us to acknowledge who He is, what He stands for, and understand our purpose for being, and that we cannot have true meaning without Him. When we know true meaning cannot be found apart from God, we begin to understand how He provides for our needs. We understand and learn to trust Him to make bitter things sweet, and that suffering is only for a little while. We learn to lean on Him and trust Him when the battle seems more than we can handle. And I am convicted to say that no, true meaning cannot be found apart from God.